6'1", 165-pound quarterback, John Sciarabba. Number 14, and already I don't have a player here on the list. I'm going to let him introduce himself.
John Ratkowski.
Okay, John, we have some players here out of order. All right, next player we have should be Sal Chiarella. He is number 21, 150-pound wingback. Next player, our player of the game last week in that victory over the Indians. He scored that clinching touchdown on a 43-yard run. Number 24, 5'4", 147-pound halfback, Vinnie Gearity. Another one of our players of the week this year for Toms River East in an earlier game this season, 5'10", 170-pound halfback, number 28 is Pat Slevin. Number 34, outstanding linebacker, had a great game last week against the Indians, 5'8", 162, and he'll be on the outside, as I said, Bob Chevrier. Number 36, 5'11", 184-pound split end is Bob Valente. He'll be a starter today. Number 44, 5'4", 155-pound running back, Glynn Clark. Number 45 is 5'10", 185-pound wingback. And we have the change here because Ratkowski was wearing a different number. And we do have Mike Senator, 6'4", 170-pound end. Number 47, key to that defense on the inside at linebacker, 6'2", 220-pounder. He also plays fullback, Chris Schiavo. And I got another player here I don't have on my roster. I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Jim Glynn.
And your height and weight.
5'9", 155.
And position.
Center.
Okay. And let's see if I can pick up. I'm getting a lot of different numbers here. Gentlemen, introduce yourselves.
Chris Schultz, center, 6 foot 200.
Okay.
Jim Martin, 5'10", 185, senior left guard.
Okay.
Jerry Priest, left guard, 160.
All right.
John Vincent's right tackle, 6'1". Frank Lawrence, defensive tackle, 6'2", 210.
Chuck Seigler, 5'11", 220. I play right guard and DT.
And he was a player of the game last week against Toms River South on offense.
John Andrews, I'm 5'11", 189. I'm a left tackle. Darren Morris, 6 foot, 220, OT.
That's offensive tackle.
Jim Verderosa, 6'2", 230, defensive end.
Big Jim Verderosa.
Don Patalunas, 6 foot, 170, split end.
Yes, and he'll be alternating in there with split end position. We have one of the managers here, and I get to see this guy after all the big celebrations.
My name is Tom Piero. I'm sidelines coordinator for the Town River High School East Raiders.
All right, and where'd you go to school?
Dickinson High School and Brick Township High School.
Brick Township. You know George from his days at
Brick Township High School, yes.
Okay.
He was offensive coordinator there.
All right, you're doing a good job, and good luck today. You're going to try to wrap up the playoff for us.
Thank you. Yes, we are. Thank you.
And here's the head man himself. Come on up here. And George, of course, your daughter came to this school here at Central Regional, established quite a career for herself, especially in girls track, and now you're going to come over here and try to beat her old school and wrap up your playoff berth. How do you feel?
Well, I said to some of the coaches before the ball game, I know a lot of the Central Regional coaches. They're great coaches. I respect them tremendously. It's a sad situation that they're in. Unfortunately today, even though my daughter did come to this school, you know, we have to play football. When the gun goes off and it's 1:30 and we kick off, I can't think about that. My kids are important to me also, and we have places to go and things to do, and they're in our way, and we're just going to have to play football.
George, Jeck, I got to ask you this. You must be very happy with the way your program's come along. Only your third year of football, and already you're in a position where you can go into the playoffs.
Well, I have a great coaching staff. We've been together 3 years. I haven't lost one man. The kids are super. We have a program that I think is, you know, just as good as any around if we work at it, and our facilities are super. The administration has been great. Anybody who can't win in the situation that I'm in doesn't belong there.
Is everybody healthy for Toms River East?
We're healthy, yes. All right, we have everyone healthy.
We're looking for a good game. George, good luck to you.
Thank you, Ken.
Okay. That's the head man of the East Raiders. Now we're going to meet the seniors for Central Regional, and I think I'm going to let these gentlemen get a chance to talk here on TV. I want you to give your name, position, height, and weight.
Bill East quarterback, 5'10", 140 pounds.
Okay, have a good game, Bill.
Bob Giles, 5'11", 155, safety and split end.
Okay, Bob, good luck.
John Collin, middle linebacker, 6 foot, 200 pounds.
Okay, John.
Jeff Lawford, tailback, 5'9", 160.
All right, Jeff, have a good game. Here's the big guy.
Kevin Kidwell, 6'5", 230, offensive tackle.
All right, Kevin, good luck to you. And our last senior, and he's had quite a career.
Kenny Roninghouse, 6'2", tackle.
Okay, Kenny Roninghouse, one of the veterans, and he's been brilliant in his years here at Central Regional. Coach Gary Carmody. Gary, It's been a rough year for you. I got to ask you, how have you managed to hang in there and keep these kids in the ball game?
Well, I'll tell you, we've got a good group of kids. These kids really have put out hard, and they're not down on themselves. They keep up. We have a rough time trying to explain to them exactly why they're losing, but they know they're young. They know they're young, and we just keep working at it, just keep their enthusiasm up.
We were talking with Steve Healy during your warm-ups, and he said when it rains, it pours. You're down to the limited numbers, and already you lose a kid like Brace over here with his leg injury. Your quarterback breaks a finger on his throwing hand, and it just seems like it never stops.
Yeah, so we really had been plagued with the injuries this past few weeks. John, of course, meant a big loss to us on the line. We'd moved him into the tackle position, and we're missing him there. And, of course, Bobby with the broken finger, that limits us down now to Billy with all the pressure going on both running game and passing game.
I want to say this. I said it during the pregame with Bob, and I want to say it here on the television for all the fans. We want to commend you and all your coaches. We've heard no excuses whatsoever. You've been fine, gentlemen. You've been as cooperative as always, even in your winning years. There's no difference, and we want to say we appreciate it. And certainly we're looking forward to future things and things getting back on an even keel here at Central. We want to just say we commend you on the job you're doing.
Okay, thank you very much. And I definitely want to thank you for appreciation of what you've done for us, too, also.
Gary, have a good game.
Thank you very much.
Okay. That's the coach of the Golden Eagles. And, Bob, I guess we're ready for today's ball game.
I guess so, Kenny. And we may see some surprises today. We should mention also that you have a strong wind kicking up, and it's blowing straight across the field, and that could be a factor. And with a few breaks, who knows? Maybe Central is going to be in the game and surprise everybody.
Okay. That's about it. We'll be back with a kickoff in just a moment. So receiving, going right to left, the return to the 25-yard line. This is Ken Turp with Bob Strangia. Also up in the booth with us, Robbie Keys. The first quarter coming your way today by New Jersey National Bank, the Red Circle Bank, along with the other participating sponsors, Gem Furniture, Service Star Hardware, and Carolina Furniture.
And his friendly staff are committed.
Central in the red jerseys, gold pants, gold helmets. East, traveling white, silver pants, silver helmets, and the black numerals. First play from scrimmage for the Golden Eagles. Man goes in motion, Laufer, and a pitch fumble on the first play.
Looks like Central recovered, Ken.
Not the way they like to start a ball game, Bob.
Now, the pitch was a little bit behind. It was a quick toss to the right side. It was a little bit behind the runner, and he had difficulty handling it.
All right, let's run down the Eagle offensive backfield. Bill Ickes will be the quarterback because Bob Kramer is suffering a broken finger on his throwing hand. So Ickes is number 10. Joe Rodriguez is in the backfield, number 32. This is a pass by Ickes looking to get back the penalty yard, or the loss on the first play on the fumble. They got the pass incomplete. They are going to mark it complete at the original line of scrimmage. So it's 3rd down and 10 for the Eagles, Bob.
Well, the Eagles just try to get a little pass over the middle to keep some pressure off them. They figured that East would be rushing very hard. It's a 3rd and 10, and they have to throw the ball into a very stiff wind if they want to put the ball in the air. So it's going to be very tough for the Eagles here.
Pete Romano's the center for Central, number 53. Ickes throwing on 3rd down and almost intercepted by Mark Yatesy, number 7.
I begin to wonder if we had a mistake there because the receiver broke inside and the ball was thrown outside. With a different quarterback in there, someone might have blown the signal there.
All right, Eagles will have to punt. Dropping back for Toms River East, Gearity, number 24, and Slevin, number 28. Slevin to the far side. No rush. High punt. Wind's going to hold it up. And the Eagles will cover the ball, but it's going to be excellent field position for Toms River North. They'll put the ball in play at the Central 44-yard line.
Yeah, that punt just sailed up there, Ken, and just hung and came straight down. And East, as you said, is going to get the ball in excellent field position.
All right, East will have Joe Scott at quarterback. His dad played here at Central 20 years ago, 1961. His dad was a starting quarterback and wore number 8 for the Eagles. Scott is number 8. They go to the tailback, Slevin, and Slevin, who is the quickest back, refuses to go down before he gets the first down to the Central 33-yard line.
They gave a ball to the second back through that time. Ken, and Slevin broke about 3 tackles. It was an excellent run. Great second effort by him, and he picked up about 12 yards.
All right, in that backfield with Scott will be Chris Schiavo, the fullback, 47, Gearity, 24, and Slevin, 28, alternate at the halfback position. Jay McKelvey, 87, is the tight end, and Bob Valente, 36, the split end to the near side. Slot right. Chiarella is the wingback in the slot. Right straight ahead goes Vinnie Gearity. Vinnie's got about 8 yards. Tackle made by Central Regional's Bob Kramer, number 11, who is the quarterback who can't play offense today. And you see Kramer coming off. He's got his right hand very much bandaged up with that broken finger. Here's a replay, Bob.
You can look here. This time he gives to the first back through Gearity, and Gearity breaks against the grain, breaks 3 tackles, and picks up about 7 yards. Good second effort by Gearity. Looks like East really wants to play today.
Chiarella is flanked to the near side, number 21, I formation. Scott gives to the tailback, Slevin. Slevin tries to cut it off the right side, and he is nailed by number 53 for the Golden Eagles. That's Pete Romano, the offensive center, also doubles up as the left end on defense. 3rd and 1 for Toms River East. Robbie, playing quarterback, one of the things you had going for you when you played at Central was your height. You were about 6'5", and that certainly had to be an advantage to you, to make it easier reading pass patterns.
Yeah, it gave you the ability to see over the line and the oncoming rushes. You can see downfield. It does make it a lot easier.
Right, Scott, of course, goes about 5'11". Here's Slevin and gang tackling by the Golden Eagles right around the 20-yard line. On the bottom of the stack was number 32, Joe Rodriguez. We didn't see much of Rodriguez, Bob, the last time we were here, but he's getting a chance to go both ways today for Central. He'll be one of the running backs, and he's also in there in that linebacking corps.
Well, Coach Jeck was saying that he has to play a lot of people today because he's got to get them all ready. They have a playoff game coming up, you know, and he wants to keep everybody sharp.
Number 43 coming in for Central is Laufer, and coming out is Carr. Carr is holding his right arm, dangling it out there like he's got an arm injury. So it's a first down for Toms River East as they are on the move here early in the ball game at Joseph J. Boyd Memorial Field. Slevin, the wingback, coming around and runs into all kinds of red shirts. The Eagles diagnosed that play very well, and gang tackle leading the charge was the veteran Reininghouse, who was the starter on last year's outstanding Central team, and the one veteran they have up front, number 74. He's playing tackle on the right side. No gain, 2nd and 10. By the way, Ken's brother, Mike Reininghouse, is on our Clear Cable Television crew working here today. And, of course, Central's going to hate to lose Kenny Reininghouse, who's been a great player the last 2 years. Here's Scott faking a Schiavo to throw to the far side. Slevin, who is hit immediately short of the first down.
East that time, Ken, just cleared with the deep receivers and broke the shallow man underneath, and he beat the linebacker out into the flat and picked up about 6 yards.
2nd and 4. Robbie, when you played it, here's a, let's watch this replay.
We have a replay here, and you can see the back go straight through the line and break outside, and he was open underneath as the wide receivers cleared deep for him.
I'm going to ask Robbie a question here in a moment after this play. Scott brings up in the slot right, 3rd and 4. He he gives the draw play to Schiavo, and Schiavo is going to get a first down and more. He may go all the way. He does. Touchdown for Toms River East, and that is going to be a 15-yard draw play, Bob, from the fullback, Chris Schiavo. 6 minutes and 9 seconds left on the clock, first period, and East is on the board, 6-0. Here's a replay.
If you watch the replay, it's the first time they gave the ball to Schiavo. He cut up, and he just broke away from people. Schiavo, Ken, is 6'2", 220 pounds, and he just broke away from everybody and powered his way into the end zone.
Robbie, he reminds me of the power of Richie Breitenbach, although I think Breitenbach was a lot quicker.
Yeah, Rich was he wasn't as big. He was tall. He's about 5'11", but he ran like a horse too. He's hard to bring down. These running backs are running hard.
Extra
breaking
point.
A lot of tackles.
Here's the fake. Yatesy, the holder, throwing, but he was pressured by Central's number 82, and that is Val Chevrier, who got in there and really put the pressure on Yatesy, Mark Yatesy, number 7. So the 2-point conversion, no good. and it remains 6-0. The time on the clock, as I said before, is 6 minutes and 9 seconds of the first quarter.
Well, Ken East came right up the field and ran right at Central, which we kind of expected him to do from what Coach Jeck had told us. He said that they were going to do nothing fancy, just very basic stuff, and try and sharpen all the edges for playoffs.
Rob, thinking back to when you played here 10 years ago, and not only your senior year, but junior year as well, I guess one of the toughest opponents for you was Manasquan.
Yeah, Manasquan every year gives a good game. Well-coached team. We used to play them the first or second game of the year, too, so it was a testing game for both schools. And like I say, they were all tough hitters. It's a good ball club.
Jack Hawkins had quite a career at Manasquan High School, now retired. Here's the return attempt, and all kinds of white shirts in there, and number 21 was the return man, Tom LeBert, but he had no blocking at all, Bob. And
well, he dropped the ball, Ken, and that kind of broke up the wedge, and East was on top of him before he got a chance to get on track. And now, once again, you're going to have Central getting the ball very deep in their own territory and about the 12-yard line.
So Bill Ickes is going to have to go to work with his offense deep in his own territory. Here's a late substitution coming in. Just joining the field. He's told to play, not even in the huddle, as he gets to the line of scrimmage. Number 88 is a late man in. And Lawford's not going to have a chance to get beyond the line of scrimmage as he tried the Raider right side of the defense. Schiavo, 47, is in there, and Chevrier, number 38, to make the stop for Toms River East. No gain, 2nd and 10.
Very difficult for Central to get started here. They can't throw the ball deep. They're into the wind, and they're outmatched in the middle of the line. So they're deep in their own territory. It really makes it tough for a coach. You're limited in what you can call.
Split backfield, quick out pass, and led him a little too far. And Ickes throws it out of bounds. Yatesy was over there on the coverage, and the pass was intended for number 23, Bob Giles, a split end.
The pass was kind of hung up a little bit, and the wind blew it backwards. The wind is gusting so strongly.
Rob, I remember Thanksgiving Day, your senior year, you played down in Southern in a rain. It was a cold day, and I think you had trouble. I guess your hands were frozen. You didn't throw the ball. You just went to your running game. You still scored 34 points.
Yeah, we had a hard time just getting a snap from the center. It was so cold that day, so we had to stay on the ground. We threw as little as possible.
I'll never forget that game. That was really terrible weather. Here's the rollout by Ickes. Throws on the run and incomplete. Lots of pressure on Ickes by Jay McKelvey. And Jay McKelvey was our player of the game earlier in the season when he put on one defensive show against Southern Regional when the Raiders dumped the Rams.
McKelvey, Ken, is 6'3", 190 pounds, and very quick. He was outside contain man that time, and he just wouldn't let the quarterback get outside him. Again, Central's going to have to punt into a strong wind again.
Jay McKelvey's the player they referred to as a stork. He's nicknamed after Ted Hendricks. Here's the short punt to Gearity. Gearity looking for room. Yatesy's blocking for him, but Central pursues it very well on the coverage, and there's about 6 red shirts there. As Gearity couldn't get any kind of room, even though he had a blocker.
Oh, but
we'll take a break and come right back. Side on first down from the 28.
East just threw a quick toss to the weak side of the field and had some excellent blocking, and Slevin went for about 8 yards.
Mike Lowe, number 26, made the stop for the Eagles. He's the left cornerback for Central. He's a junior. And it's a good game for East to start off the series. 9 yards on the play, 2nd and 1. The center is Chris Schultz for the East, number 56. Chuck Seigler and Jim Martin, the guards. Here's the pass by Scott.
He's got a man open.
Run it. Nice. Going to go to the sideline, throws on the run.
Now he unloads. He's got.
And Valente was the receiver at the 3-yard line, and right through his hands. And he really rifled that pass, and Giles was covering for the Eagles.
Yeah, throwing with the wind at his back. Scott really hummed that ball, and well, he missed Valente. Sal Chirella almost picked the ball up on a rebound on a tap in the end zone.
All right, it'll be 3rd down and 1 for East. Slevin comes in with a play from Coach George Jeck across the way, as the Raiders have the lead here early in the ball game, and the clock showing 3 minutes 44 seconds. Toms River East leading 6-0. Driving once again, Chiarella in motion. And Slevin's got a huge hole. Slevin all the way down. Well, he's still on his feet, and he's going to go for a touchdown. Pat Slevin goes the distance.
We had just a quick trap play to Kenneth. We got a replay, I think. Anyhow, we had a great trap play, a quick trap, and it was a great block by Jim Martin, who pulled out, made a great block, and we just had a great run there, all the way in for a touchdown.
The distance, 18 yards, Bob, and Slevin adds the second score at the 3:33 mark of the first period. Verderosa will attempt to kick, and last time they faked it with Yajacaj, the holder, rolling to the right. They get a snap that rolls to him, and they still got it teed up, and Verderosa kicks the point. So the score is 13-0 East. Robbie, the East has scored 2 quick touchdowns here, and this reminds me of you guys didn't usually waste any time scoring points. I'm trying to think back some of those games. I think the first couple times you had your hands on the ball, most of the games you would score right off the bat.
Yeah, like you were saying, against the Southern game, the first time we touched the ball, we ran an end run and we scored. You see, looking at the game today, the Townsville East backs seem to be running at will. They're breaking a lot of tackles. They're running hard. I just don't know if the Central players are big enough to take them down, but they are running real strong today and are looking pretty sharp.
Yeah, Rob, we've seen East a couple of times. This is a very physical football team.
Yeah, there's some big players out there, and Slevin looks like a strong kid, and he's real hard to bring down.
They have an excellent weight program. Coach Ed Sarluca and some of the assistants work with these players all year long. Here's the kickoff. It's going to go into the end zone. They let it go right by them, and no chance to return for Central. So they'll start the ball in play from their own 20-yard line.
Central's got to generate something. You can. They're still 3:33 in this quarter. If not, they'll have to punt into the wind and give East excellent field position again, and East can break the game wide open in the first quarter.
All right, Golden Eagles with the football, down by 2 touchdowns here in the first quarter against this Townsville East team, whose only loss was the defeat over Brick Township. A couple of Raiders jump it. There goes the flag. We're going to have an offside call here as the Eagles go off the left side of their line. And making the stop is Schiavo. Well, Schiavo was on the bottom, and then help from Yajacaj and also Gearity.
I want to mention, Ken, in that one loss to East, that was a very, very close game until the last 8 or 9 minutes to go, when Coach Jeck elected to fake kick, and they didn't get the first down, and Brick scored to win a ball game.
It was one of the more thrilling games that we've done this year, and certainly like a chess game between 2 teams that mirrored each other as far as running the same type of offense, and it was certainly an enjoyable game to broadcast, and hopefully if they get a rematch, we're certainly going to enjoy doing that ball game once again in the playoffs. East wants a rematch with Brick. Southern wants a rematch with both Brick and East, and it looks like it could happen. Here goes the tailback Laufer, and he gets a couple of yards. Seigler is there along with Yajacaj. This Yajacaj, Bob, came into the lineup about the 3rd game of the year, and he has been really outstanding. He's like a cornerback and linebacker on the right side, number 7, 5'8", 150. He's a junior, and I think he's been a great addition to the East defense.
He and Verderosa also is an outstanding ball player. Verderosa covers a lot of ground. He's big, he's strong.
Now they call Yajacaj a cornerback, but he's lining up like a linebacker. Here's a fumble after the catch, and I think East is going to get it because they got about 4 white shirts there. They do, and this could be a blowout very early here if East goes in for another score.
That would have been Central's first down of the game, Ken.
That's a shame. They connect. Let's watch the replay.
I think you can watch on the replay. I think it's Verderosa who comes up and hits the receiver when he's hung up there in the back, and when he hits him, the ball pops loose.
And Scott was there too, the safety man, number 8. So here's East once again on offense.
Second back.
Slevin, and Slevin hits for a good game. Mike Lowe was the first Eagle there, but he needed a lot of help to bring Slevin down. He's running, as Robbie said, very hard today. He is the quickest back East has. And they're going opposite Reininghouse, who, of course, we talked about earlier, is the veteran and the standout on that Eagle line. Robbie, you got a feel for a kid like Ken Reininghouse that gets a chance to play on an outstanding team like they had last year at Central, now going through this struggle here this year. Here's Scott. Flag. Man wide open. Dropped the football. Chiarella was wide open.
I was watching Reininghouse on that play, Ken, and looks like they may be double teaming him on the East interior line, figuring he's the only guy they really have to control on the Central Eagles. We have a replay coming up here. You can see the quarterback sets back. He's got a man wide open on about the 7-yard line, but the ball went through his hands. It's a little windy. It's a little cold out there. It's going to be tough to hold the ball.
Holding penalty against the Raiders. They'll push the ball back to the 36, where East will have a 1st and 20.
The way East has been running the ball, Ken, they don't necessarily have to throw it here with this long yardage because they've been ripping off about 12 yards to carry.
I want Robbie to watch Scott here, and then I'm going to ask him. It's hard to judge a player off just the first half of a football game, but get his comments on Scott, whose dad played here at Central. Joe Scott drops back deep for the screen, and it's going to be Slevin.
He's got a lot of room.
Slevin's got plenty of room, and he's going to go all the way down to the 17-yard line, and number 76 for Tom's River East, Terry Morris, made an excellent block to spring Slevin. Terry Morris is the left tackle. Replay, Bob.
All right. You can see him fade back, and when you see this kind of pressure, you know it's a screen right away. Screen sets up very nice. There's a nice block in the flat, and Slevin cuts up field, and the last man brings him down. If it wasn't there, he would have all the way.
2nd and 6 for Tom's River East. They got most of that yardage back that they lost on the holding penalty. Now they're in excellent shape here with 3 downs to work with. Pitch goes to the far side. Gearity is stacked up, and Reininghaus was in there right away, and they're going to take a loss on the play. Number 74, Ken Reininghaus, 6'2", 210. He's a senior, and he is one outstanding football player. So the loss goes of about 6 was going to make it 3rd down, and we'll call it 13, and the ball's way back at the 24-yard line. Robbie, you get a chance to see what Reininghaus can do.
Yeah, he's a big boy. If he gets a chance to get out there and knock down through his offensive blockers there, he's a big man, tough man to handle.
And as we've been seeing, the Raiders have been going away from him. Here's a jump pass to McKelvey, the tight end, and McKelvey's still on his feet, and then he's really leveled by Lowe, but not, well, I think he's got the 1st down, no doubt about it. And that's the end of the 1st quarter with the score 13-0 in favor of Tom's River East. The quarter came your way today by the New Jersey National Bank, along with Gem Furniture, Service Store Hardware, and Carolina Furniture, and we'll be back in just a moment. I begin coming your way by our sponsor, New Jersey National Bank, along with the other participating sponsors for the 2nd quarter, House of Paneling, Richards Motors South, and Carolina Furniture. Ken Turp with Bob Strangia, and our guest in the booth is Robbie Keys, the former Central Regional All-State quarterback from the team of 10 years ago, the undefeated Golden Eagles under the late Joe Boyd. And of course the field here is named after the first coach at Central, Joe Boyd. And we have a timeout here on the field. Bob Strangia was making an interesting point about, Rob, you had 24 touchdown passes in 1971, and Red Bank's was pass interceptions. Bob, how many?
We had 27 pass interceptions.
That's
To
unbelievable.
put that in its perspective, the Redskins led the NFL that year with 16.
Rob, that would be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to throw against a team like that. Obviously, they're a good athlete backfield there, and we had our strength running. We set it up off the run because we have good running offense. So it would have been an interesting matchup.
Yeah, but good thing we didn't play because now a lot of
We
mystery.
could talk about this
if we did play,
all winter long. Yeah.
You could talk about it for the rest of history. If we did, then it would be a winner and a loser, and it would be settled.
Yes, now we got 3 good teams instead of 1.
Yep.
Right. Here's the 1st down play, and it's going to be Slevin, and Slevin doesn't get any room. This time the Eagles gang up, and again, Reininghaus is right there, and that's the answer as to why they didn't get any room. They went to Reininghaus' side. He was there.
I think that's the first time that the Central Eagles have held them to no gain all afternoon on the ground.
Well, they're going to give him a yard on the play, Bob. So it'll be 2nd down and goal as the Raiders twice now have gone towards Reininghaus, and Reininghaus has met the challenge. 2nd down play, he's got a slot to the right, twin wideouts. Right up the middle goes the big fullback, and just short of the goal line. They're going to mark that about a foot short of a touchdown. Chris Schiavo.
They just put trips out to the right side and to move the Central defense over and just ran that 220-pound fullback right up the belly. The ball's on about the 1-yard line.
He's a load. He's a load. It's a big boy right there. He's just going to go straight ahead with him. He'll probably go right back to him. We'll be surprised.
6'2", 220-pound fullback, Chris Schiavo. And I'll tell you, he is one heck of a linebacker. He shut down Southern's offense by keying on Mouthy, the fullback. That was a matchup of two tough kids in that East Southern game. Here's Slevin, just waltzes across, and he's got the touchdown. So that was quite a hole he opened up. A Channel 8 truck could have gone through there on that one, Bob.
Well,
they just waltzed across. Nobody even touched them.
They just faked the big fullback one way and came back the opposite way with Slevin. And that veteran East offensive line, just like you said, blew a hole in here about 6 feet wide. We have a replay coming up, and you can see the little lead block in there by the fullback, and, geez, everybody went for him, thought he had the ball.
You're talking about Seigler, Verderosa, McKelvey. I mean, that's a strong blocking group on that right side of the line. Here's Verderosa, the tackle who kicks the extra point. It's good. That touchdown came with 10 minutes, 44 seconds left in the half. And now Tom's River East has opened up a 20-0 lead, and George Jeck may get a chance to play a lot of his inexperienced players in the second half today. Robbie, this reminds me, Coach Joe Boyd used to empty the bench in a lot of your games 10 years ago, as early as the early moments of the third quarter, and a lot of times you and the first stringers had to just be content with playing one half of a football game.
Yeah, I was probably one of the best spectators in the second half of our games. We get a lot of time to watch the game. We'd come out and start off the first part of the second half, and generally the second stringers would get in there and play. And they got a lot of good experience. It was helpful down the road.
You know, Ken, doing that, it helps the team to perpetuate itself because it keeps your good players healthy and then takes your young players and gets them lots of game experience, and then next year you have a lot of veterans coming back again.
All right, East ready to kick off. And end over end into that win, Carr. And Carr's not going to get more than a 4-yard return. Chevrier is there as he covered it very well for Tom's River East Raiders. So the Raiders go on defense. The Eagles back on offense, trailing in this ball game here in the second quarter, 20-0. And Rodriguez was in there. Bob, you want to go ahead?
No, I was just wondering, according to the roster, 32 shows up as Rodriguez.
That's the number they gave me for Rodriguez. I said Carr, I'm wrong. This is Lawfer, the tailback, Jeff Lawfer. On that offensive line for Central, we got Val Chevalier taking the place of John Brace at tight end because John Brace has ligaments torn, may have to have surgery. He's out for the year. The right tackle is the good one, Ken Reininghouse. Joe Fisher at right guard, Dave Beal left guard. Over on the left side, we got Kevin Kidwell at left tackle, and Romano is the center. Romano's been steady all year long. Here's
procedure penalty.
Illegal procedure. They're going to go through with the play, and it's not going to go anywhere.
Now, there'll be a penalty against Central Regional. Both backs moved at the same time. There was a little cadence mix up there.
Robert, another thing I remember about your senior year at Central was talking about John Kilmurray, the great receiver you had that year. A lot of teams even put double and triple coverage on him, and yet it didn't seem to stop you.
Right, John had excellent hands, and he had strong legs. He had the ability to get off the line and get into the open. And when they did double team John, we had to back to throw to Steve Discus and Pete Bell, so generally they couldn't just cover one receiver there, and that was the luxury we had at that time. All
right, it's 3rd and 12. A little dump pass over the middle, and that's picked off. And I'll tell you, when things go wrong, everything happens at once. And Tom's River East has Yatesy come up with that football, number 7, the player we were talking about. He's been an excellent cornerback linebacker for East. And the Raiders get an excellent chance to go on offense and
you can
great
watch
field position.
The replay here, Ken, that the left end gets open across the middle, but the ball is thrown behind him, and it's picked off right into the arms of the defender from East.
Rob, did you throw many of those passes over the middle, those short passes, like a jump pass or anything like that?
Yeah, we used to set up play with a hook and go. We used to set up with a quick pass to come right over the middle, and then we come back with the hook and go. And a couple of times we were lucky that John would break wide open over the middle.
Well, Pat Slevin's breaking wide open right over the middle. And Pat Slevin just running at ease here and at will is all the way down across the 5-yard line and breaking all kinds of tackles before he is nailed. And they're going to mark it at the 3-yard line. Replay, Bob.
Slevin picked up about 25 yards here on just an inside play. If you watch on the replay, you can see Then he fakes to the first back, gives to the second back. Slevin cuts back against the grain, breaks 3, 4, 5 tackles, and carries 3 people down 5 more yards.
Tom Lebert and Mike Lowe on the tackle for the Eagles. First and goal for Toms River East. And there's a touchdown. Schiavo, the fullback, called a 2-yard run by Chris Schiavo. 7 minutes, 56 seconds of the second quarter, and you may run out of paper today, Bob, on your scoring summary there.
Getting to feel like a secretary.
It's now 26-0. 7:56 of the second period. Verderosa to attempt the extra point. He's also quite a basketball player for the Raiders. Kicks it, no good. Wide to the left. So that's going to be a 26-0 lead, and I'm not sure whether George will start substituting here in the first half. Bob, he's still got plenty of time left.
You have a problem, Kenny. You like to substitute here, but it's a cold afternoon, and you don't want the kids to lose their edge. You don't want to pull them out too early. Yet Coach Jeck, I'm sure, doesn't want to put that many points on the board because these are young people out there, and as you mentioned last week in the game of the week, that he cares very much about young people and young people's feelings.
For letterheads, envelopes, posters, flyers, business forms, invitations, and all your printing needs, it's the Office Copy Center Printing Company of Toms River, home of the one-day business card. Call 349-4611. That's 349-4611. We are ready for the kick here by Toms River East. It's a line drive. Lebert has it. He's going to come right up the middle of the field, and he'll be stopped at about the 33-yard line. 1st and 10 for Central Regional.
Central has yet to pick up its first down, Ken. They'll have the wind at their back. Hopefully they can get something going.
Yeah, Robbie just pointing out Ken Reininghouse is injured. They can't afford to lose him. And he's got a problem with his right knee or leg. He's limping off now. There you see Reininghouse coming across your screen.
He might have just gotten kicked there, Ken, because he picked up the knee pad and he was looking at it, and he's limping a little bit, but he still came out under his own power.
Tony O'Connell, number 61, a junior guard, is going in. He'll have to play tackle, 175-pounder, 5'8". So they're going to lose a lot of size there at that tackle position. 1st and 10 Central. Fumble, and Hickey's just falls on it. They'll lose 4 yards. 2nd and 14 coming up, and Bob, this is going to be like a nightmare if you're down here on the field and you're in that offensive huddle.
I suffered through a season like that early in my coaching career, and there's nothing you can do. You're playing young kids, they make those kinds of mistakes, and as the pressure mounts on them, the kids want to do better and they make more mistakes.
And Central certainly doesn't have anything to look forward to with Southern Regional coming up on Thanksgiving Day. Laufer in motion. Pitch. They run the far side. Rodriguez trying to get outside, and he cannot escape the pursuit of number 24, Vinnie Gearity. Maybe a yard gained on the play. We'll give him a yard. See, 3rd down, and we'll call it 11.
It was excellent pursuit by the Toms River East defense. There were 3 defenders who took pursuit angles to cut the back off as soon as he turned up the field. It's a well-coached East defensive unit out there, but they contained Brick very effectively.
Eagles come out with a slot right, split backfield. Now this is Zecky's trying to avoid the rush, and he's not going to have a chance to get out of there as number 56, Chris Schultz, the right tackle, finally brings him down. That front line has Jay McKelvey, Chuck Seigler, Chris Schultz, and Jim Verderosa, and it's one of the best defensive fronts in the area. Here's a replay, Bob.
You can watch here the outside blitz. Here comes the pressure, and instead of just take the ball and cut up and try and minimize the loss, quarterback wound up getting hit for even deeper loss. He lost about 12 yards. Now they're lucky if the punt reaches the line of scrimmage.
Here's the punt. Nice Good kick. Sailor. Gearity has to go back for it at the 40-yard line, and Gearity behind Verderosa's blocking manages to get up across midfield to the central 47-yard line.
That kick was high. He got up in that wind, and that wind just took it for a ride.
Robbie, do you remember? I don't remember getting sacked very often your year because you had an outstanding offensive line, guys like Callahan, Curry. Do you remember getting sacked in any game?
No, Ken, not really. As you said, we did have a good line, and I generally had very good protection, and so our pass routes were usually short ones, and I didn't have much time to really have to drop back that deep, and I don't remember getting sacked many times.
It's certainly nice to have those big guys up front giving you the time. Here's good pressure by Central, and credit number 88 for breaking up that play, Bob McCormick, who came across the line, Bob, and made him turn inside.
Yeah, McCormick read the toss, and he came in and put that end run force on, forced it back to cut back, but there was a lot of help from the rest of the Eagles.
All right, we're gonna take a brief time out here after this coming play. It's 2nd and 9, 4:15 left on the clock. The Raiders right now very much in command, 6-0. Chiarella in motion. We have a new quarterback in there, Sciarabba, number 11. No gain. It'll be third coming up, and now let's take a timeout. 165-pound junior, number 11. And he's going to throw.
Got a man open deep.
And he's coming to Slevin, and he avoids one tackle, doesn't go out of bounds, and picks up an additional 10 to 12 yards as he ducked under the tackler, Bob, and right down the sideline.
Slevin made a great play. He was the under receiver on that flood line to the near sideline, the foot pass to the deep end, number 82.
Here's a replay coming up.
You can see the replay here. The underman is wide open here. Slevin's got room on the sideline, gets away from one tackler, cuts up, runs past another, is finally knocked out of bounds.
Don Patalunas for 82 is a split end for Tom's River East.
He was wide open on that play deep.
Patalunas lines up the left end. He's been coordinating this year with Valente. Robba hands off to another new man there, number 32. I believe that's Russell, Bruce Russell, 5'9", 150-pound junior. So some of these alternate backs are getting a chance here in the second quarter to run with the football.
You have a problem when you're a coach on a day like a coach Jeck. He's putting young players in the game, and those young players are eager to play because they don't get to play much and they want to score.
There you see Reininghouse, number 74, who went out with the injury on the sidelines there. And you may see him, he's flexing his right leg right now. So he may be all right.
I don't know if you can pan
We hope so.
Both sidelines, Ken, but if you look at the central bench and look at the east bench, you can see the difference in the numbers of players.
First down, split backfield. Again, Russell, and he's got a hole. He's going to go for a touchdown. Touchdown, Russell.
12 yards.
And we'll call it a 12-yard touchdown run by Russell. 2 minutes, 20 seconds left in the second period. There's the Raiders bench across the way as all their players are standing. And here's the replay, Bob.
All right, you can see here it's nothing fancy, just a straight handoff behind two good blocks. And Russell cuts back and cuts for the strike. Number 66, Chuck Seigler, at that time, excellent block out there.
Now Yates, he's going to attempt the kick. He was the holder for Verderosa. He's the backup kicker.
Good.
And he's got the extra point, his first kick of that we've seen him kick this year. And he tacks it on 33-0 here with 2 minutes, 20 seconds left in the first half. Rob, when you had that offensive team at Central, you came out with a lot of men in motion stuff. It seemed like it was a very complicated offense. You guys were veterans for a couple of years, so I guess Coach Boyd could add more to the offense because you were there together for several years. Was it hard as a quarterback to call that offense?
No, basically it may have looked hard from the sidelines, but it wasn't. It was just basic. We ran end runs. We did put a little motion to change the defensive standpoint of view, but it wasn't really a very I'd say real hard defense. As you say, was ran. It's just basically end runs and off tackle plays and a little trap here and there.
All right, here's East ready to kick off, and there's the signal. End over end, right down the middle. LeBert once again on a return for Central Region. Tries to come to the near sideline and is pushed out of bounds by Toms River East, Mark Conte, number 84, who made the stop. So Central once again.
Robbie, how big was Kilmurray?
When he was a senior, he's probably about 6 foot, 185, 190.
What kind of speed did he have?
He had good speed. He didn't have real good quickness, but he had good quickness. I'd say quickness off the line. He had strong legs, and his best aspect was his hands.
You remember how many passes he caught that season?
No, I don't remember. I think he may have had somewhere around touchdown receptions, somewhere around 7 or 8 touchdown receptions. I'm not sure of the regular received receptions.
He's got him open.
Here's a man open, and Ickey's just overthrows
number 85.
Chevrier, number 85. Yeah, they're going to say he stepped out of bounds before he threw the ball. It's a good toss. And I should say Farrow. Rick Farrow was the intended receiver, number 85. But Rob picked it up. He did step up. The officials way back at the 26-yard line, where he says he stepped out of bounds on that sideline.
That play was busted. Ickey's had great pressure, and he rolled out to the sideline, and the receiver just kept going deep, and all of a sudden he was out there. We almost had a score.
Number 74 is back in there at right tackle, Ken Reininghouse. 2nd and 13. Here comes Farrow on the end around, and he is dumped by number 32 for East, Bruce Russell, who's in there now on defense. Got all the new numbers in there, Bob, for the Raider defense.
Well, Coach Jeck wants to keep his veterans healthy. He knows he's got the playoffs coming up. He's got a commanding 33-0 lead, and he's got a lot of young kids that sit on the bench all year who want to play, and he's put them in the ball game.
Try to pick up some as we go along. 55, the left linebacker is Tom O'Donohue, a junior. This is 3rd and 10. Pump fake, throws long, got a man, and almost a great catch by Giles. And Giles just couldn't hold on. He would have made a super catch, Bob, if he could have brought that one in.
Yeah, Giles was open on a straight fly pattern. The pump fake slowed up the defender, and Giles got behind him, and the ball was delivered just 2 inches too long.
Punting unit coming on for the Eagles. And Tom's over East will drop back. Looks like Yitzy and Slevin to return this kick. 1:16 left.
Robbie, when you're having those super years, those receivers make those kind of catches for you, don't they?
Yeah, right. That's the years they are super. When the
kick is
block,
blocked.
got a block kick here.
All right, here's the Central Golden Eagle falling. Now it squirts loose. And I don't think Central's going to fall on the ball. Well, the East Raiders with the block will get the football at the 30-yard line. Again, they get excellent field position. They've had it all day long now. And
Ken Reininghouse is also back on the sideline.
Yeah, he just limped off. And again, a big hole. And I believe that's number 44 for East. And that's Clark. Glenn Clark, 5'4", 155, senior running back. Also, let's pick out some of these new guys. Well, we still got Terry Morris in there at left tackle for the Raiders on offense. Verderosa's leaving now, number 77. Here comes a whole bunch of substitutions for Tom's over East. Number 75 is in there, John Andrews at tackle.
Number 53, Ken.
Number 53 is Dave Ireland, a junior. And there's Eagles turning that play back. And that's going to be the end of the half with a score. Tom's over East 33 and Central Regional nothing. Bob, what do you say at halftime when you're the Central coach? Tough thing for Gary Carmody.
Well, what you have to do is you have to go tell your kids there's a thing in football called pride. You can go in and come out the second half and get blown out completely, or you can come out and forget the first half and try and make the game respectable.
Say bye, the New Jersey National Bank, along with Dunkin' Donuts of Bayville. This is Ken Turp, Bob Strangia. The Golden Eagles starting the second half down 33-0, and Tom's River East is going to start with the second half by kicking off to Central. Bob, this has got to be a long march back to the field from that locker room for Central.
Well, it does, Ken, but as we watch the opening kickoff here, I think we first should note that East will be kicking off with a very strong wind. The wind's so strong it shakes the box that we're sitting in, and that means Central will be getting a ball deep in its own territory and operating with about a 30-mile-an-hour wind blowing in their faces.
Al Gerber will do the kicking off as Verderosa takes the rest of the day off. And it's an end-over kick, nice kick with the wind back to the 5-yard line. LeBert on the return, who's been handling all the return duties both on Fourth Central on all these kicks.
LeBert did an excellent job getting the ball out there about the 26-yard line.
And I noticed the first string back in on defense for Tom's East. So Verderosa's in there. I saw Seigler, so it looks the regular defense. Gearity's in there, Scott.
You pretty much have to play them, Ken, because they've been sitting around, they get cold, and you don't want them to get too cold where they get sick. I think you'll see Coach Jeck play them for about 10 minutes maybe, then he'll pull them out of there.
1st and 10 from the 25, and the Eagle offensive line unable to open up a hole. They did get maybe a yard and a half on the play, so we'll call it 2nd and a long 8 for Central. LeBert comes in with a play from Coach Gary Carmody, replacing Lawford, the tailback.
Central in a power I formation for the first time this afternoon, Ken. Running a blast play.
And they get a couple of, maybe 2 yards on the carry off the left side. LeBert, the ball carrier. 3rd down and 7. Yeah, when we get them over here, Bob, you want to start them down some of those halftime stats?
In the first half, total offense, Toms River East had 200 yards, Central Regional had only 4 yards. Rushing was the real difference, though, as he had 142 yards on the ground to minus 11 for Central's Eagles. Central's Eagles had a 1 pass play good for 15 yards, while East had a 8 yards passing.
Pitch to Lawford. Lawford is going to take a loss on a play, and Schiavo, 47, and Chiarella, 21, combined on a stop for the Raiders. So the punting unit will have to take the field for the Eagles here early in the second half.
That'll mean, Ken, that the Eagles still have not gotten a first down in this ball game. The 1 pass play they had that was for 15 yards, there was a fumble on that play, and they still haven't gotten a first down.
Good snap. No pressure by the Raiders. A sailor over the head of Gearity. It's going to take an Eagle bounce back to the 35. Gearity's going to try to return this, and he gets about a 3-yard return and nailed right away by Chevrier, number 82. So here's the Raiders going on offense for the first time in the second half. And Ken Reininghouse I'm looking for him and I don't see him.
Ken Reinhouse is out of uniform and he's coming out to the field now limping.
Oh, okay.
In his dress clothes, so Reinhouse will not
take
play
the rest of the day off, which is a good move, I think, on the part of Coach Gary Carmody, not to risk any further injury to his number 1 lineman.
He'll save him for Thanksgiving now, not run a risk losing this ball game 33-0 of injuring him. And it's good for a coach to do something like that. It protects Reinhouse.
Raiders 1st and 10, 35-yard line. Chiarella on the wingback coming around, making the stop. LeBert. 2nd down, gain of 3, 7 to go.
Looks like we have another injury, Ken. John Carr, number 34.
Chiarella is to the near side, I formation. Scott hands off to Gearity, and the Eagles meet him at the line of scrimmage. And
Carr was holding his arm, Ken. He's playing with one arm numb, came up and made the tackle. He hasn't bent that left arm in the last 2 plays. Here comes a substitution now for him.
Carr leaves. He made the tackle. He's the right inside linebacker in that 4-4 defense for Central.
He's their defensive captain, too.
We have another man up in our press box, Bob, the fullback from that Central undefeated team 10 years ago. Rich Breitenbach just came up, and he is a member of the police force here in Berkeley Township. This is a 3rd down play. Pop pass over the middle, intercepted by Central Regional. Tom LeBert picked it off. And he is the left outside linebacker.
Tom picked it up a la NFL and started to run it back, but he forgot that once his knees touched, he was down. Here we can see Reinhouse coming on the field, Ken.
Yeah, he is limping, wearing the blue jacket there all by himself, coming across the field. So Tom LeBert picked up pass as Scott behind Chiarella, coming across the middle. And it'll be 1st and 10 Golden Eagles, and one of the few bright spots there made by for the Eagles. And there's maybe a yard gain met at the line of scrimmage. Windy, cold day here at Joseph J. Boyd Memorial Field.
Central Regional lining up in a power I offense the 3rd time, and they're going to just straight handoffs. I think that Coach Carmody figures he might as well try and just reestablish it if he can.
LeBert once again the ball carrier and gets cards. It'll be 3rd down Central Regional. Right back. Did you realize that it was 10 years ago you were in Central?
Doesn't need that long, Ken.
Look fast, doesn't it? I'm going to ask you about your highest game emotionally in that season for you personally in a moment when we get a chance. Here's the third down play for Central on the eye. Tailback gets the call, tries to cut it outside Laufer, and Laufer very close to that first down marker.
Depending on where they spot the ball, it might be Central's first down, Ken.
And the officials looking it over. I think they want to call for a measurement. Rich, of all those games you played a 9-game schedule or no playoffs back in 1971. What do you remember? Which game do you think you were the sky high the most for? Which game meant the most to you that year?
I believe the Point Pleasant Barrow game, which was the second game of our season that year. It was a home game. I believe the entire team was up sky high, Ken, for that ball game.
Why?
We knew we had to win. We were just coming off a narrow victory over Manasquan, and we knew the Barrow team was very good that year, and we had to be ready for them.
And you were, I think, a score of 32-0?
Yeah, somewhere around there, Ken, 30-something zip.
I remember you went right up the middle on a fullback right up the middle play and went galloping into the end zone to our left here, about a 20-yard run, which kind of really cracked it open there.
Yeah, I remember that play well. I got 5 stitches after the ball game. I got hit by 2 or 3 of their linebackers as I came through the hall.
The year before, Barrow had beaten you, and that was the last loss. You went on an 18-game winning streak, I believe, and they beat you by, what, 1 point?
I believe they beat us 14-13 up at their field.
That was a tough game to lose. Here's the Eagles on 4th down, going for the first down. Bob, you think they got it?
I don't know, Ken. It's going to be close. I think you'll see another measurement. They were short by about a yard, or a little less than a yard, about 2 feet. And on 4th down, they elected to go for it, losing 33-0, and they've got the ball in East Territory. So it was a good call to go for it, and I think they may have it.
Barrow was the man who took the football, number 85, and here comes the measurement for Central. They didn't have any first downs in the first half. They had the one on the pass, Bob, which was dropped by the receiver after the completion.
They still don't have a first down.
They still don't have it.
Short by about an inch.
The Raiders hold, and they'll take over. Rich mentioned that Barrow game. Al Sainer, the veteran coach, he and Joe Boyd had a great rivalry going, and Al Sainer came to your banquet that year. Remember that? He presented the team of the football from that game.
Yeah, I really don't recall the banquet that well, Ken. But I know Mr. Sainer was a good coach, and he always had his ball players ready to play.
Yeah, he made a promise to Joe Boyd. If Joe had beaten him, he would come to the dinner at the end of the year and present the football from that game, and that's exactly what Al Sainer did. I sat at the same table with him at that dinner. Here goes the Raiders on offense. And there's a nice hole and a good strong run of about 8 yards by number 44. That's Glenn Clark, who we saw in the second period. As once again, George Jeck is going to substitute freely here, and he's got Sciarabba, Bob, back in at quarterback, number 11.
Yeah, I was the first back through, and you can see the replay here. Number 44 on the lower end of your screen takes the handoff, cuts upfield, and picks up about 8 yards.
Now it's 2nd and 2 for the Raiders, wing right. They go to the right side. Good blocking, plenty of lead blocks there, and another first down for Toms River East. The ball carrier is Bruce Russell.
They just ran a sweep to the right side behind all the power and got 2 excellent blocks by the pulling guard and picked up about 12 yards for first down.
1st and 10 at the 40-yard line for the Toms River East Raiders, and once again they're on the move with their second unit in there on offense. 4:24 clock running, 3rd period. East leading 33-0. And the wingback comes around, gets a big hole, and another first down for Toms River East, and we'll be back in a moment. First down, his first carry today, number 14. He's a sophomore, 5'11", 160 pounds. Well, he hit the first down. He moved it back. It's a yard short. No doubt about it on this play, though, as Russell goes charging through the line and gets the first down easily for Toms River East. And that's marked at the 25-yard line. Don't forget, next week, here on Clear Cable, we'll have the playoff action, and East, with a victory here today, should be the 2nd-seeded team in South Jersey Group 4. They would be home, and the usual playoff times, Bob, and I'm going to tell you this right now, is usually move up to 1 o'clock. We'll watch for announcement next week, but it should be either 1 or 1:30, probably 1 o'clock at East. Here's the pitch back coming around the right side. Eagles pursue very well, and Clark is stacked up at the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard gain. They do give him a yard. 2nd and 9 coming up. Dave Kennett made the stop, the left inside linebacker for the Golden Eagles. 2nd and 9.
Yeah, I was watching Coach Healy, the defensive coach of the Eagles that time, and he had an outside call on the defense, and the play was run to the outside, and Kennett was in the right place at the right time.
They go to the second back, number 32, Russell. Russell should have the first down as he's across the 15. They'll mark it at the 14. 1st and 10 for the Raiders, and Sciarabba looks for the substitute to come in with a play from George Jeck as they call the plays in that East huddle. So the Raiders threatening to go in. They're not doing anything fancy. George Jeck not trying to run up the score. They're just giving these new players a chance to play some offensive football. And here goes Russell again on the carry.
They gave it to the second back through again, Ken. The Raiders have only run about 5 plays all afternoon. They've run to second back through. They've run a power play. They've run a quick toss, and they've run a wing back counter. And we've seen them throw a flood pass. They're just doing what they do so well that they're able to maintain control of the ball and score points that way.
In the first half, Rich, we were kind of comparing the running backs of East with your running style when you played here. Hard running. They ran very hard in that first half. And Schiavo, 47, who's not in there now, is such a big fullback. I want to ask you something in a minute here. Here goes the handoff to number 44. He's met by 3 or 4 red shirts. They push him back. Lawfer led the defensive charge, and the Eagles rose to the occasion on that play. Dave Beal also in there. So it's going to be a loss on the play for the Raiders. 3rd down and 8. Rich, I think you kind of enjoyed running over people, though. You like physical contact, didn't you?
I'd like to play the game as much as anybody can. When I was 5'10", 195, 205 pounds my junior year. My senior year I was well over 200 pounds. It was a little easier when you're heavier than the defensive backs that you're running into.
Well, here's somebody getting run into right here. Clark is met by a host of red shirts. Romano, Chevrier, all in there on the stop for the Eagles. And again, Central, 2 big defensive plays in a row. Another loss for the Raiders.
East tried to run a draw play, Ken, and he was met by Pete Romano. It was an excellent play by Romano. It's 4th down, and I think you're going to see East go for it.
Rich, you talked about your size. That's the end of the quarter. We're going to take a break here with the score, 33-0. Let me tell you that the 3rd quarter came your way today by New Jersey National Bank, along with Marita's Skiers Place, Carolina Furniture, and Dunkin' Donuts of Bayville. We'll be right back in a moment. And the New Jersey National Bank will bring you the 4th quarter today, along with Blair's Rental Service, Luigi's Deli, and Carolina Furniture. The East team has a 1st down. The ball is marked at the we're on the 15, and Sciarabba is the quarterback once again. He's going to roll to his right, try to get around that corner, and excellent pursuit by Val Chevrier, 82, and he's played very well today, Bob. He stepped in for the injured John Brace, and he's done a good job for Central.
Chevrier showed some excellent speed in catching the quarterback on that. He had a good angle on him, and he just showed excellent speed and a good open field tackle.
All right, it was a 4th down play, so Central holds, and their defense really came up with 3 big plays in a row there, Bob, to take over the football. All right, they go right over the left guard.
Central had twin receivers to the right that time, Ken, and the East defense with all substitutes, and they had never to the Twins. There was only 1 defender out there. I wonder if the Central spotter saw that, and you may see them throw back to the right side of the field here.
All right, 2nd down, no gains, 2nd and 10 for Central Regional. And leading them up to the line of scrimmage is Romano over the ball for the Eagles at center. High formation. Ickes is going to roll, try to set up and throw long. He's got a man overthrows him. Intended for Giles, number 23. And good coverage by Toms River East as they had 3 men back.
I don't think Giles thought that ball was going to carry that far, Ken. Giles was out there, and he seemed to slow up, and the ball just kept on sailing with that powerful wind behind it and just went over his head.
Rich, have you had a chance to see many ball games? I know if you're working on a police force, you get a lot of weird shifts you have to work, and I guess it's hard to get to the games.
Yeah, Ken, in the last 2 years, I've seen most of Central's games. This year, I believe I've missed only 1 or 2 games, coming most of them.
So you've been a loyal supporter.
Win or lose.
All right, it's good. That's what we like to see. You got to admire these kids on a Central team. A lot of it could be very easy to quit the team and walk off, but they hung in here. He's rolling, and Hickey's intercepted now. I believe he was over the line of scrimmage. He was over the line of scrimmage. He was over the line of scrimmage, and I was looking for the flag. He was about 5 yards past the line of scrimmage when he threw the ball. It was picked off by John Sherman, a junior, number 51, 5'7", 160-pounder. East will probably decline the penalty. No doubt about it. If they want that football, they're going to have an excellent field position at 26. Here we have a replay, Ken. You can see he comes upfield and he delivers the ball. It's a great deception there. We were talking to Robbie Keys during the first half and talking about he had 24 touchdown passes on that team years ago, yet that Thanksgiving game, the weather was so bad you couldn't really throw the ball. It was freezing rain, and it showed how balanced your offense was because you still were 34 points and mainly sticking to the ground that day.
Yeah, that day we were one of the only teams in the shore that played it. It was about 20-something degrees and about a 30-mile-an-hour wind, pouring rain. Couldn't do too much passing.
Wasn't anything fancy that day. You just beat them with your power.
Mostly sweeps and straight-ahead power runs.
You and Pete Bell did the job. And that was a good Southern football team that year. It wasn't, they had a winning year, and they had a lot of excellent football players. I think the final score was 34-13?
34-19, Ken.
So here's a timeout on the field. Central took it over. East is looking over to their coach. Bob, what's going on here? Well, I think the East team is short a player. They keep signaling to the sideline like they're looking for somebody, and that sometimes happens when you get a lot of substitutions. Here comes one of the assistant coaches now out to the huddle, and here comes a missing ball player. Mike Conlon is the assistant coach for East coming on the field, and he'll talk to that offensive unit. The clock shows 9:46 left in this ball game, 33-0. You know, Coach Jeck, he was in a bad situation coming this game. He certainly didn't want to run up a score on Sunday, yet he has to worry about keeping his team sharp, Bob. His primary responsibility is to his players to get them ready for next week, an opening round of the playoffs. He's got an opening round of playoffs next week, and you have to play your ball players because you have to keep them sharp. You can't rest them 2 weeks and then go into a playoff game, because then what happens, your team makes the mistakes. They make the fumbles and so on like that if they're not sharp. Of course, we mentioned George's daughter went to Central and was a standout athlete here last year. Nice fake up the middle, and then they go to the outside. And a nice run, and we got a lot of new shirts in there, and that's number 39 for East, Bob Haynes, a junior. New quarterback is Al Gerber, who kicked off earlier to start the second half. He's number 9, 5'10", 165, and a junior. So we've seen the third quarterback for East in the game, Bob. There's a lot of quarterbacks, a lot of linemen, a lot of subs. Number 89 just came into the game for East, and he doesn't even show on our roster. Split backfield, second down play. Second back. And here's a nice hole and a very nice run. He may go all the way. Just bounces off a tackler, loses the football. And Central falls on it in the end zone. LeBert picked up the football, and there's a flag on a play. That was a nice run by Bruce Russell and good blocking by the Raiders. Yeah, Russell was the second back through that time, and he made a nice run. Here's a replay. You can watch the second back gets the ball. He cuts upfield to the stripe, cuts against the grain, breaks a tackle, goes into the end zone, but is stripped of the ball, and Central fell on it in the end zone. Now it's coming back up because of the penalty flag, and it's going to be first down for Central going the other way. All right, Eagles take over. I lost something. You can't. If East had a penalty, how come they don't get the ball back? I know, but the Eagles have it, and here they go on offense. Hickey's to throw on first down to the near sideline, long, And incomplete. Chevrier was the intended receiver. And Russell, who just ran that ball in the end zone previous play, was covering on a play 4 times over East.
All right. Ken, that penalty before must have been against East. And Russell fumbled the ball in the end zone, was recovered by Central, so Central declines the penalty, gets the ball 1st and 10 on the 20-yard line coming the other way.
So, 8:36, clock is stopped, left in this ball game. Sun shining brightly here at Central Regional, but it's a cold day, as you would expect this time of the year. Here's the draw, and they get LeBert outside. It's a race to that sideline, and finally bumped out by number 16, Steve DeMezza.
LeBert picked up about 8 yards on that play, Ken. Again, out of that power I formation. Central's had some success running out of that formation because it gives them a second blocking back.
3rd down, and
you can see here almost like a sprint draw.
And LeBert's played a good game for the Eagles today. He's certainly not quitting out there. I formation. Ends are tight. Tailback. LeBert coming to the near side once again. And he should have the 1st down. Knocked out of bounds.
I think that's Central's first down of the ball game, Ken. The fans are cheering because of that.
Rich, we were talking with Robbie on the pregame show about the comparison your senior year between your team and Bob's at Red Bank and Jeck, all 3 undefeated that year. What was your thoughts on a possible matchup with those teams?
I got a chance to watch Red Bank play Tom's River. We played them the following week, and I was very impressed by their ball carriers and their defense personnel in that ball club.
Farrow is the ball carrier, picks up 5 or 6 for Central Regional. They're on the move right now, Bob.
Well, they've got 3 or 4 nice plays in a row, and they've got away from the shadow of their own goal line. They're almost at midfield. But they got a long way to go to that east goal line.
Rich, there was a lot of talk at the end of the year, maybe a brick Central matchup that year by switching Thanksgiving opponents or maybe a postseason game, but the state NJSIA didn't go along with the idea.
I believe there was a lot of people that would have liked to have seen that ball game. I believe there was a lot of kids that would like to play it also.
You have a
There's
fumble.
a loose football, and East picks it up. And let's get the number of the man with the football. It is going to be East ball.
Number 57, Ken.
And 57 is Paul Fitzgibbons, a junior. A lot of juniors in there right now for Tom's River East. Paul Fitzsimmons was the man that picks up the loose ball. We got a replay, Bob.
All right, you can see here that the deep back in the I formation never really gets possession on the ball. He's given a handoff, and the ball pops right out. The ball was put in there a little bit too hard. He didn't grab it right.
Rich, another interesting thing about that team you had was you didn't have a huge coaching staff that year. Nowadays you get 7, 8 coaches on a staff, but it was mainly Joe Boyd, McIntosh, Omert, and I guess Rudder, right?
Mr. Boyd ran the offense and defensive backs. Mr. Mack took care of the line. Mr. Rudder worked with the defensive backs, and Bob Omer helped out with the linemen. There's 4 coaches, I believe.
Yep. Well, Russell picked up the about 9 yards, Ken. And on the first down play there as the second back through.
We might mention Bob Rudder is still here on the Central Regional staff, a former Golden Eagle himself, on top of the press box, who coached Richie's team back in '71. It's an interesting facet. I mean, you guys played 10 years ago, exactly 10 years ago, went undefeated, and exactly 20 years ago, Bob Scott was a quarterback here at Central, and here's his son, 20 years later, playing for Tom's River East as a junior quarterback. So the clock now shows 6:11 left in this game.
East has picked up a first down. They're on a march again, Ken.
Russell still on his feet, running hard, carrying a couple of red shirts on his back.
Russell is the second back through again behind good blocking, picked up about 9 yards.
We got a big game going on in the shore area today up north, Wall and Asbury Park. Wall, when you played them, Rich, it was quite a controversial game. We get a chance here, get a lull, a brief time out here. We might talk about that game 10 years ago. Here's a play off the right side. Nice twisting run and a touchdown. He's going to go in. I believe it was number 38.
39.
39, Bob Haynes. All right, Bob Haynes is the man who made that nifty run. And give you a little information on Haynes, a 5'8", 185-pound junior. So the distance, 10 yards for the score. And East has tacked on another score here. First one of the second half, playing their substitutes. 39-0, 5:22 left to play. Yatesy will attempt the second conversion kick of the day. High snap, but they get it teed up, but I believe it's going to be short. Bounces off the crossbar. No good. We have to take a timeout. Rich Breitenbach, we talked to Robbie about your game with Toms River South, Ron Signorino's club. You defeated them pretty handily, 64-20, and Bob Strangia was kidding. He says, we softened them up for you the week before because South had to play Red Bank the week before.
Yeah, and they had a short week. Do you remember that, Rich? Because we played them on a Monday because it was a rain day.
Yeah, I seen a game up in Red Bank. It was on the Monday afternoon. We played them the following Saturday, and you may have beaten them up for us.
I'm sure you guys were quite capable. That excellent ball club you had at taking them on yourselves anytime.
And that was a good South football team. They proved it by winning their last 6 games in a row. After they got done with Long Branch, Red Bank, and Central, they were 0-3, and they won the next 6. Brian Applegate was the quarterback that year. And we were talking to one of the players on that team last night, Bob, who's now a chiropractor in Toms River, Ed Caden, who was an offensive guard on that 71 Toms River South team. And he was commenting about John Lee and your guys and a job that they did that night, or that day.
We had 9 sacks between Lee and Northley, our other tackle, on Applegate. Applegate was a good quarterback, a good running quarterback, could throw well on a run.
Well, here's Icky's trying to run, but he has no chance at all. He's snowed under.
That was
a loss.
A planned bootleg, Ken, but Icky's blockers pulled out and just he wasn't able to get away from all the confusion and turn it upfield.
Rich, your junior year, you beat South on this football field. I think it was 58-0, wasn't it?
Yeah, we got off to a good jump on them. They never did come back. It was always interesting playing that against Toms River South. I played up there for the St. Joe Angels, and I knew all the ball players most of the time whenever we played, and it was always quite exciting for me.
Here's a pass play attempt by nice pass. Throws it right to Chevrier. Threw it right in on the numbers, Bob. You couldn't ask for a better thrown ball.
That was the best pass he's thrown all afternoon, and it was a nice grab. Chevrier had to go up in the air, made a good grab on a play, and it's close to the first down, but I think it's going to be a little short.
No, they're not going to measure. They're going to say first down. So they give him the first down. Here's a replay, Bob.
You can see here the power I, which is really a passing formation. It's a play-action fake. There's a blitz by East. The ball is delivered right on the money by Icky.
Yeah, Rich, you made a good point. The game here, your junior year with Toms River South, the game kind of snowballed for South. You jumped off to a quick lead, and then everything they had tried to do went wrong. But the next year, your senior year, I mean, it was just a convincing win. You guys just kept ripping off big play after big play, and I think you had 50 points at the half on them.
We were throwing the ball to Stevie Ditchkus, if I remember it right, and they were double teaming John Kilmary, and he seemed to have a couple easy touchdowns the first half and got us rolling.
And I think Pete Bell ripped off a couple of nice screen pass plays that really broke the game open. Here's LeBert, and the Eagles get maybe a yard gain, Bob, 2nd and 9.
Yeah, that's about all. It was just a outside sweep play, and excellent pursuit by East holds them to a 1-yard gain.
Rich, have you heard anything about Pete Bell? I ran into him a couple of years ago. He was playing semi-pro ball down in Baltimore.
The last I heard, he was working out west somewhere, so I don't know where.
Here's a pitch to Farrow, and he's going to throw. He's got a man open. It's going to be a central touchdown for the 25-yard line. A beautiful play, a little razzle-dazzle. And the touchdown averts the shutout here as Bob McCormick, a sophomore end, number 88, takes the throw from Farrow. We got to see a replay, I hope, on this one.
Oh, wait, you see this? They fake the end around, Ken, and the end, when we get the end around, you'll see on the replay here, he drops back, sets up to pass, and receiver was wide open all the way for the touchdown. Beautiful play.
So there it is. Eagles score with 2:44 left in the game. Now, apparently, it's going to come back, and that's a shame. Really a shame.
I didn't see any flag. I was looking for one,
It's
but there
back
is
at
one.
the 40-yard line of Central. Face mask penalty coming up. How can you do that on offense, Bob?
I don't know, Ken.
Let's see what the call is.
But when things aren't going right for you, they
That's
just
really
don't
a
go
shame.
right.
That was a beautiful play.
It was a beautiful play. Very exciting play to watch, and it was set up very nicely.
Rich, when things go wrong, they really go wrong.
Things that way, okay.
That's a shame.
Again, they gave a face mask
Heartbreaking.
signal against Central when you're on offense.
Yep, face mask penalty against an offensive team. So somebody tried to make a block, and I guess got their hands up and grabbed onto the face mask. Very unusual call. Second and very long yardage for the Eagles. Pitch to Lawfer, coming around the side. He's got some room, and he tries to put a move on, but a good open field tackle by Bruce Russell prevents a real long gainer.
He picked up about 10, Ken, but he still has about 22 yards to go.
2:27 left in the game. LeBert back in for Central with a play.
That's a shame that play had to be nullified. That's one of the prettiest plays we've seen all year.
Excellent, well-executed play with Farrow throwing to McCormick. What we thought was going to be a beautiful touchdown comes back. Third down. Hickey's runs out of the pocket, rolls up and throws, and he hits LeBert. And there's another nice play. Hickey's to LeBert for a first down at the Toms River East 40-yard line.
The Central kids certainly haven't quit, Ken. They're trying to get on that board. They want to avert that shutout.
I'll tell you, you got to admire, like I said earlier, you got to admire the kids here that are playing for Central. It would be very easy to just quit and walk off and quit the team. Some of them have done that, but these kids have hung in there, and here they are late in the game. They're still giving it 100%. And even after that long penalty, they didn't stay down. They come back and they hook up on this play for the first down.
The kids want to get the score with 1:50 to go in the game, and they want to avert the shutout.
Again, it's Farrow coming around the same play.
The
Only
ball's
this time it's a
wobbly.
wobbly pass, and fought for by Giles, and incomplete. Same play we saw earlier to McCormick.
Only he got hit as he was throwing the ball that time, and the ball was wobbly. But McCormick was out there again deep, and he had to step on the defender.
Rich, did you ever get a chance to throw a pass? Maybe, now you were a fullback. Usually a halfback gets that kind of a call.
We used to run a sweep pass when we went the power to the other side. And I just threw a short pass, a tight end who did like a down and out, but we very seldom ran it.
Did you complete any?
I don't believe so.
Yeah. But Robbie throwing 24 touchdown passes, you didn't have to worry about throwing the football, Rich. Yeah, we're going to think about an MVP here, most outstanding player. Here comes a pitch coming around the near side. Kennett's got some room, and he's very close to a first down, maybe a yard short. I think we've decided on our player of the game. It's going to be, Bob, go ahead and announce who the player of the game is. We agree on it.
Our player of the game has to be a fullback for Toms River East, Schiavo. He's done an excellent job for them, carrying the ball, great blocking job. He's been consistent for them all year. He's made a lot of big plays for them.
Chevrier takes the pitch from quarterback Ickes. He's got a first down. They're calling timeout here to stop that clock. 39 seconds left. And Bob, why don't you run down the recap of that scoring right now?
Well, we have the timeout. The first score came in the first quarter at 6:09 on a 15-yard draw play. It was Chris Schiavo. The extra point was no good. At 3:33 in the first quarter, Pat Slevin scored on an 18-yard trap play. Verderosa kicked the extra point, made it 13-0. In the second quarter at 10:44, Slevin scored again on a 1-yard run. Verderosa, the extra point was good for 20-0. At 7:56 in the second quarter, we had a 1-yard run by Schiavo. The extra point was no good. That made it 26-0. At 2:20 in the second quarter, there was a 12-yard run by Russell. The extra point by Yahtzee, and that brought the score to 33-0. The only score in the second half came at 5:22 in the fourth quarter on a 10-yard run by Bob Haynes. The extra point was no good and made the score 39-0.
All right, Chris Schiavo, congratulations, the Clear Cable player of the game. He's been a solid performer all year long, the middle linebacker and the fullback.
Somewhat unheralded performer, too,
Yeah.
Ken. Some of the other people have stole the limelight from him, but at 6'2", 220 pounds, he's also an excellent college prospect.
Rich, are you playing any flag football? I know some of you guys were playing a lot of football in these leagues around the area, Tom.
Yeah, we were playing in a league up in north for a while up there in Belmar Wall area. Now we're down here in the Berth area playing in a flag league.
And here's a pass over the middle, incomplete, intended for Farrow, but the pressure was on by number 61, James Harris, a sophomore, who really got in there and put Ickes to the ground. Made him throw before he wanted to. We have a flag, I believe. No, we don't. Okay. It's second down coming up in 10.
Ken, with about 1 minute to go in the game, do you want to remind the fans again about where we'll be next week?
Next week, we should be at Toms River East. We'll wait for the official announcements on Monday, but we should be at Toms River East for the playoff game with probably Southern Regional. We don't know how Southern's doing with Jackson. They're a solid favorite to win today. Here's the pressure again on Ickes. He throws it as he's going down. I don't think they'll throw an intentional grounding penalty here this late in the game.
I don't think so either, Ken.
Bob, you can head down the field if you want and grab Schiavo. Rich, when's those flag games? On Sundays usually?
Sunday mornings. We play different times. Sundays out to Miller Airport in Bayville.
All right. So, Eagles still trying to avert the shutout here as they come up with a third down and 10. And intercepted and dropped. Almost intercepted by number 35, Jerry Grasso. Stops the clock with 24 seconds left, as you see it there on the scoreboard. Rich, you see where Stacy Hall of Central, last year's team, had 5 touchdowns in his first start for Colgate against Columbia about 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, I read that in the newspaper, Ken. Stacy's a very good running back.
Outstanding. We haven't mentioned that, but Stacy Hall had himself quite a day for Colgate against Columbia. 246 yards rushing and 5 touchdowns. Tied a school record for Colgate, and he's only a freshman. Here's Farrow, and he is down to the 11-yard line where he was down by Steve DeMeza, number 16. First and 10 for the Eagles. The clock is stopped with 16 seconds left. We certainly enjoyed watching those teams the last 2 years at Central with Musselman and Stacy Hall. They weren't the biggest team around, Rich, but they certainly were scrappy, hard hitting on defense.
I really enjoyed watching. They're really interesting the way Jeffrey threw the ball and Stacy's running. Kept people off balance.
Of course, Musselman is at Harvard, where, talking to his dad, he is concentrating on baseball. Harvard started a fall baseball program this year, and Jeff Musselman, who was all shore baseball for his junior and senior year as a pitcher, is at Harvard playing baseball, and he, of course, is one of the top students in his class last year at Central Regional. All right, Gary Carmody comes off the field after talking to the Eagles. They have 16 seconds left here to try to get something on the scoreboard, and trailing 39-0. So don't forget to be with us next week on Channel 8 in the Toms River area on Sunday night at 8 o'clock for our playoff game. And in the Southern Division, Lacey on South, you will see that playoff game on Monday night at 8. And if everything goes according to form, it'll be Toms River East and Southern in a rematch in the first round of the state toss. Here's Ickes getting pressure, throws as he's fighting off a tackler, intercepted in the end zone, and that'll do it for Central as he tried to hit Chevrier, and it was picked off by Ralph Dalgan, number 40, 180-pound sophomore. That shows 5 seconds left on the clock, and that'll just about do it. They start the clock again, it will run out while East is in their huddle. That's the end of the ball game. Toms River East wins it 39-0 over Central Regional. The fourth quarter came your way today by New Jersey National Bank, along with Luigi's Deli, Carolina Furniture, and Blair's Rental Service. Rich, thanks for stopping up to the press box, and again, congratulations. It's like a 10-year anniversary of that team of 10 years ago. Certainly gave us a lot of thrills, and wish you good luck in your career with the police department.